This is the draft season podcast. We are back after a brief hiatus. It's Young Raz coming live where I often do, Queens, New York. I'm here with my player partner, Sean 5K. Talk to him.
You already know, man. We in here doing what we do best today. We in our scouting bag. We taking an early look at that 2022 NBA draft. You know what I'm saying? I hope everybody enjoyed the little break and everything. But you know what I'm saying? This part of the college basketball schedule, especially with all the tournaments, especially around Thanksgiving, it's always a great hub of scouting to take a look at how these guys are looking. So yeah, we definitely about to get into an early look. We about to do a mock draft of the lottery of the 2022 NBA draft. So yeah, man, it's a lot of stuff. I think the first half of the season, man, we were just talking about this before we started, but those preseason big boards, those preseason, you know what I'm saying, the list that everybody looking at. Once the season get started, you know what I'm saying, it's different when we're scouting, and it's different when you're just looking at highlight reels. Everybody looks good in the highlight reel. But when the season starts and the game sped up and, you know what I'm saying, the transition to the next level for these guys, that's when the warts in the game start to show up. So most of these teams have played about 7-8 games at this point. So it's going to be a nice time to take a look at it. So yeah, let's get into it. We definitely get into this mock draft of the lottery. Raz, would you like to kick it off, or you want me to go first?
I'll go first. So Paulie Pockets, man. What's up, Paulie? It's been a minute. Uh, yeah. For number one pick, whichever bad team is gonna be there, we got the Thunder, the Magic, Pistons, Rockets, all viable bums for this prize possession of number one pick. But I think we gotta go with Paolo. Paolo. Banchero, some bad decision making. Even though he wasn't the one driving, right? They had my guy hemmed up like he was the the drunk or high driver. But just somebody that I saw when I did go to the Allen Iverson Round Ball Classic. I saw his unique ability of ball handling, strength, kind of a quick first step for someone that size, the ability to bang down low, but with the finesse out there, with just an array, a bag as the kids call it.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has a very deep offensive bag, and we were just saying off cam, that's who, when people decided that Melo wasn't fast enough to play the three anymore, this is what they kind of envisioned. And it's a little different at this size because Paolo is 250, 6'10". So he adds that element of size. And we don't do comparisons on this show because we're not trying to kill any of these kids before they get to the league.
We're gonna get to Imani in a second. We're gonna get to Imani.
Yeah, well, Paolo is not Carmelo Anthony. We're not gonna say that. He's not Jabari Parker. He's not none of those guys. But I could see where you would start looking that way. I think right now his game offensively is just way too polished to not be the number one pick, and I think he has just the kind of the room for growth on the defensive end as well, and just the comps that they have on some of these things. They do say things like Chris Webber. And, Chris Webber is one of those guys who was in the wrong era. You know what I'm saying? Chris Webber playing in this era right now is an absolute, like he's already Hall of Famer. But I'm saying I think you would be able to see.
He's not because NBA be hating. You know what I'm saying? Basketball of Fame.
He didn't qualify. I thought he was in. I think he's in.
Wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, and we'll check. We'll check later. Somebody check that for us. But for number one, we're gonna go with Paolo.
He did get in this year. After 8, he was on the ballot for 8 years. I forgot to put him in this year. I was like, because he should have been in there way earlier than that. But you know what I'm saying? Media relations, niggas was hating on Chris Webber. But yeah, continue, Red.
Yeah, no. I signed off. The number one pick is gonna be Paolo for me.
Yeah. I mean, especially just watching him. Paolo's a gamer, man, and looking at what he did on the lower levels, and I think there was a lot of concerns about particularly one, his dribble. Is his dribble really good enough to get to where he wants to get to on the court at the next level? And yeah, man, he handles he started to really handle the ball. I mean, handle the ball like a guard, particularly for somebody at that size. He's really you've seen some of the stuff he's done from the perimeter, just abusing some of the slower footed fours. around the in college right now. Yeah, his dribble package is definitely the improvement. I've seen the improvement from what he's shown at AAU and in high school. So he definitely has that skill set. He's gonna be able to bully a lot of smaller guys in transition. Basically, you know what I'm saying? It's scary what he can do. Just the coordination that he has. One man wrecking ball. He can grab and go flying up the court. The shooting is definitely something as well to where it's crazy for somebody that has size. You'll see him dribble or even you see him in ball screen actions being able to dribble into off the dribble 3-pointers. And you could tell he's extremely confident in that shot. I don't know, there's one thing a lot of people had question marks about. But his shot continues to show just a lot more fluidity. So if he's going to be shooting it at, it's different because I know this season nobody in the league could shoot this year. So we're gonna, I guess that will there'll be some stabilizing just in terms of NBA stuff about what league average from 3-pointer is going to be going forward. Yeah, but I just think Paolo, for his age, incredibly polished, a gamer. You know what I'm saying? I think even his mechanics on his 3-point shot, to where being able to get to that pull up jump shot at his size, he's just gonna be a really nasty player. I think he's definitely is gonna be somebody who's gonna be able to average 20 points in the league. And I think just in terms of defensively, I know a comp that I've seen thrown out for him. I know people have thrown Melo out there. I'm not gonna say Melo, but I think comparing it to another person who is similar, another Duke guy at that, I think there's a lot of similarities between him and Jabari Parker, pre-injury Jabari Parker at least. But I think he has a lot more upside on the defensive end and a lot more just. I think he has a better path towards not being a sieve on that end. And I think even if you look at Jabari, particularly on those early Milwaukee days, with it was really apparent just the stylistic differences between him and Giannis on the same court, and it didn't take long to really notice see just the level of what an actual high end NBA athlete looks like. So I definitely think if that's the spectrum, I think Paolo is definitely going to be somebody who for me as well, looking at the number one pick, and I think he's just a gamer. So I think so we will get into pick number 2 on the big board. We'll get to I have Chet at 2. Going back and forth between him and Jabari Smith. I do think it's going to be pretty interesting between the two. Now, just real quick before I get into Chet, for you at least, Raz, in this top, let's just get to just the top. Do you think what would you what would be the chances that Chet would have to catch Paolo as that one of one in your opinion?
Well, I mean, Chet, his main issue is strength, right? And I think the perception that a lot of the scouts have, he was, going into this, he was a bona fide number one pick. Like that's all we spoke about until we saw him against other kind of quote unquote grown men, right? Like some of these kids that he's playing with against in college are adults. Let's be real. Like they had filled out. Now they're not NBA grown men, but the strength disparity between college and NBA is so great that it's a glaring difference that he made that jump from high school to college, and we've been able to notice it so much. I think his ability to kind of fill out. I don't think he'll be able to fill out, this year, and that wouldn't even be healthy for him. But I think for him is the ability to stay healthy this year, staying healthy, increasing his rim protection. I think he needs to show the ability to be a weak side help defender at the rim and kind of closing that off at his size, and just the ability to hold his own defensively on the one-on-one side. I mean, he like flashes dominance at times where you're like, damn, like he has the ceiling to be an incredible player. But I think if you're going NBA ready plus the potential, obviously Paolo is your number one pick, and I don't think he will have, barring some unforeseen knock on wood things that happened to Paolo. Like I don't see how he gets ahead of him unless he has a huge tournament. and sometimes you know that recency bias kind of kicks in.
Yeah, so I think the questions with Chet, and I think some of these games that Gonzaga has played, he's definitely more comfortable on the outside. There's definitely that was the big concern I feel like a lot of people had, but you definitely see something is in terms of just being avoidant of contact, and being pushed around a little bit on the interior. I think I think this is going to be a lot more prevalent and obvious the longer that we get into college basketball season, just about what is his exact fit in the NBA going to be. Now, we're talking about the type of big, like if we're just considering him a four all the way at this point, and let's just say you're going to need somebody else who, because I think if you're playing Chet at the five, you're going to get Aiden alive on the boards, and I think just for him at those first, I mean, let's just say the first half of his NBA rookie contract when he gets to the league, is he going to get pushed around? I think that's going to be a safe bet to say that he's going to need to, like you said, add good weight and not just, I'm saying, just bulk up overnight, because that's obviously going to be an injury concern. I think sometimes just at, some of the games that we've seen with Chet, particularly, I think, what was it, the Texas game I think they played? But yeah, I think sometimes the speed of the game can look a little quick for him, just about how it's been, how he's translated on that end. But I'm saying, at the end of the day, I still do think Chet has easily the potential to be the biggest rim deterrent in this draft class, which is still extremely valuable currency. I think obviously we talk about the things that he can do. I still, long term, I think the jump shot mechanics are going to have to get sped up a little bit. It's a very the shot does take a second for him to get off, and I think some of the shooting struggles that he has had, I believe off the top of my head, he was around 31% this year right now off of just the early portion of the season. So that's something that's going to just in how he's going to be able to get that jump shot off. But other than that, I do think even his coordination, being able to put the ball on the floor from the 3-point line, nothing super advanced. The caveat is he's obviously, I'm saying, a freaky 7-footer, being able to even, being coordinated enough to take 2 dribbles from the 3-point line, and still make that read. I think this is not something, this is in the Mark Few system scheme. These type of short roll passes for out of the short roll, those are something that those are usually saved for Drew Timmy. But I do think that is something that Chet is going to be able to really flourish at. I think his passing instincts are kind of. I think that it's not. I don't think they're advanced by any point, but I do think it's a nice part of this game. I think just in terms of when you we'll get into another big man shortly. What I just think for his feel for the game, I think just in terms of his body and his skill set not being exactly where it needs to be to capitalize on the skill set. But I think his feel for the game is, I think he shows an understanding for the game. He doesn't really waste a lot of possessions on offense. He's either taking open shots or getting somebody else involved. So I just think, just in terms of intangibles, IQ, Chet has shown that he's going to be able to find a role in the league eventually. It's going to be unconventional because there's not a lot of guys in his skill set that comes into the league. And yeah, I think as shout out to the homie Paolo Pockets in the chat, against Duke, he couldn't turn the corner on bigs and had guards make him comfortable. Yeah, and that's definitely, I think, for that next level, this is something. It's a really strange dynamic, and it's something that I've actually seen around the league. This is something that randomly for it's an extremely frustrating part of Karl Anthony Towns' game right now, particularly this season where he's lost. I think they said he came into the season and he lost about like 15, 20 pounds on his frame. And one thing that he struggled with is throwing, shorter guys on him. And it sounds strange, but a lot of times these shorter guys or shorter defenders for a big man can actually get them really uncomfortable. So that's just something to watch for Chet. Obviously, I still think his floor, I don't see him falling outside of the top 3. But yeah, I just think for even if it's just a utility guy and you can figure out the pieces later, Chet is somebody that NBA teams, they got a lot of film on him, particularly if you watch him at under 19 FIBA and USC games. Chet is somebody who I see, even if he doesn't, it's going to be interesting because if we're talking about a top 2-3 pick, we're talking about superstar, and you usually want superstar, all-star. And I'm not exactly sure of what Chet's upside truly is. Like, I don't know if it's also, I don't know if it's superstar, probably asking for a lot. But I think when it all boils down to it at the end of the day, he's going to be somebody who's going to be able to find a role to really impact and make and change games for a team if you're putting him in the actual right spot. So Raz, you are up, number 3 pick.
I know who you want to put here, but for shits and giggles, I'm gonna go with Jabari Smith from Auburn. I think he's played his way into a top 5 pick at least. And I mean, obviously on my board, I have him number 3. He's a decent shooter. Can score off the dribble. Great rebounder. He can also guard about 4 positions, in my opinion. I think he is a good athlete with the ability to be a great athlete with some of that NBA training programs on him. My only issue with him is shot selection right now, and I think that's a bit of immaturity and in the system he's in. But he has the tools to round out into becoming, an elite shot blocker. In my opinion, I think it comes down to motor. He has the skill set, and I think he's the number 3 prospect right now.
Yeah, I think for sure. I know Jabari's been somebody. Shout out to Polly Pockets. Polly Pockets was early on him in the chat last time when he was speaking. But yeah, I think Jabari, who I think number one, he shot the shit out of the ball early in the season. I think that's kind of one of the things that's probably the most intriguing thing about him. He's getting up about 7.5 threes per 40 minutes at the college level in his first couple games. The shot making versatility is kind of separated from a lot of these other bigs in this class. I think he's extremely comfortable. I think, mechanics wise, the jump shot looks good. Extremely high arc is very tough to contest that shot. No hesitation when he's getting into his shot. He's also, I know I clipped the play of Jabari Smith. I forgot what game it was, but basically grabbing and going transition. Did a nasty snatch back, still at half court, and still got to the bucket and finished with finesse around the cup. So I think being able, he's even flashed some step back actual potential with his shot. So I think when you talk about that, 6'11" wingspan, 6'11", 7-inch foot wingspan. Defensively, it's going to be interesting to see how good of a defender and how what's the true upside on that end for him. I don't think he doesn't have the fastest feet, I would say, but just in terms of how he's able, I think his length, he uses his length well enough to be able to actually, disrupt would-be shooters. And I think there's also a lane for Jabari as he gets more comfortable. And we talk about skill development and just what he's shown early in this season. If we're just projecting him down the line, and that's why, like, if you wanna, I think philosophically, if we're talking about who might have a higher upside, I do think, I think just off judging it off of a lot of, it's still early in the season, like we did say. So a lot of this scouting is still based off, a lot of, AAU grassroots circuit stuff. But as far as Jabari goes, it's going to be interesting to see. Let's just say, I think to where I mentioned with Chet earlier, like I don't see Chet becoming a pull-up three-point shooter in the league. I don't see him becoming in, the go-to scorer in the league. It's just there's a lot of roadblocks for him to get there. But just for what Jabari has shown and his functionality as a, just as a ball handler, there's a lot of for somebody who's probably going to project as a forward. There's some nice, real, wing skill set just as a dribbler, and his ability to create his own shot. I think that team, the Elber team, is really, asked him to, do a lot offensively. So I think just for what he's been able to do right now, I think, even showing diversifying his ability to attack out of closeouts a little bit more. It's a lot of straight line driving out of closeouts right now, but Jabari has shown a lot to really get excited
I
for
mean, look,
early in the season.
he has number one pick potential, bro. Like, and I think obviously with Paolo being like the stalwart up there this early in the season, I think if you were thinking about any other drafts, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. He would be in that number one talking in many other drafts. Like this draft is just loaded with big guys and long wing guys that he's had to fall sadly to number 3 or 4 depending on who's picking. But just like a way too early question, like which one of these lottery teams you think could use him? Obviously all of them, but where do you think he fits the best? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's still too early for me. I don't know, man. I think comparing him, I don't know, like possibly wherever the Pistons are going to end up, but I think of I think
Pistons,
of
that could see that.
I think Pistons. I don't know how long term Jeremy Grant is going to be in Detroit, but I think what I'm saying, just the building blocks that the Pistons are going to have. I think he does fit well next to somebody like Isaiah Stewart, who's going to be able to bring some of the just some of the burliness and the interior presence that Isaiah. That Jabari, part of me that Jabari needs next to him to really. But yeah, I think the
I would
upside for
love,
Jabari is extremely high.
yeah, I would love to see the Spurs stink enough to get their hands on him, but that's going to be a tough road because those top three, those bottom three teams are very, very bad.
Yeah,
But yeah,
so number four,
number
Raz,
four,
you
yeah.
you are up at
No, no,
I'm up at number I'm
yeah.
up at number four. I can't count. So yeah, number four for me, I gotta go down to what I'm saying, returning freshman. And I think first of all, I wanna reset a little bit because I've had really he had a good second half of the season. He had a really good tournament game. Jaden Ivey, I got at number four right now. Um, but my eyes been on Jaden Ivey, particularly since that gold medal game in the under 19 FIBA game, USA versus France. I think he was kind of the most dominant presence. I mean, just the most consistent presence on that team. Comes from a strong, what I'm saying, athletic bloodline. His mom played in the WNBA. His father played in the NFL. I read something crazy about like his mom was like pregnant in college with him and like still played while he was there. But yeah, I think just in terms of how Jabari, I'm confused. Just Jaden's improvement level from last year. He didn't even start on Purdue on the first half of the season. But for the improvement that he made over the second half of last season and what he's shown this year, I think what he's shown right now is extremely. We're talking about an electric athlete, somebody who's able to get up, finish above the rim, uh, being able to jump off of 1 feet and really be effective in traffic. There's a little bit of Ja Morant in him, just in terms of like just his aggressiveness around the cup, being able to, what I'm saying, just like when there's being able to finish through traffic and finding those creases in what I'm saying, in a crowded lane to still get his shot off. So I think that's one of the things that just, if you're not, it's something that's going to pop on tape right away. I think his dribble game is definitely improved. I think just in terms of his improvement, and we talk about guys who I think he might have, what I'm saying, I think he might have been a back half of the first round pick if he came out in last year's draft. But I just think the improvement that he showed over the summer and early in his college basketball season has definitely skyrocketed him into the top five. I think his feel out of pick and roll has also been extremely impressive. That was another concern that I think a lot of people had with him. Is he a one? Is he a two? I think if you're playing him next to other guys who I probably am gonna want somebody, whether it's I'm saying a big wing initiator who gets you into your sets, or if you have a bigger point guard that you can play in basically like as a double backcourt with Jaden. I think that's another good fit for him. He's yeah, man. I think his reads out of pick and roll. He's thrown a lot of real impressive passes. Being able to find teammates. I think that Purdue team has been just a lot of fun. I think his spot shooting has also really improved. Still early, but the jump shot, I'm buying the jump shot because he's just been letting that thing fire without any hesitation. So I just think somebody who he's also going to be able to get downhill constantly. And you know what I'm saying, another thing when we talking to the importance of really getting into the teeth of the defense, Jaden is always getting to the teeth of the defense, and that first step, like I mentioned, is electric. But you know, the ability to force rotations from the defense and the team that's defending you, and also having he's actually flashed some real impressive skip passes. So yeah, man, I think Jaden Ivey's been really impressive. I'm really excited to see how he changes or finishes the year. Like I said, the shooting has come a long way from where it was last year, but I think for him, I'm definitely buying this shot. So I think as the steam picks up rest of the year, and you know what I'm saying, like I said, I tweeted this yesterday as well for my coin. Jaden has been one of the most exciting players to watch in college basketball this season. So definitely somebody to keep an eye out. Lot of fun. The kid is worth the price of admission. I might gotta go catch him. I think they got a game at
Well,
Barclays coming up.
we can go. Take our Rise Network people up on their off and go see Michigan State versus Purdue at the Bryceland Center. We might have to do that.
Shout out to the network. Shout out to the network. But yeah, man,
Jaden Ivey for me, definition of a combo guard. I think like when people use that, I feel like that term gets that wouldn't be bad. Jaden and Cade would be nice. I would like to see it.
Yeah, you can talk me into that. You can talk me
into that. I think combo guard gets thrown around a lot, and not many players are. They're only talking about in terms of size, right? Like in terms of like that guy's undersized to play the two, but not a point guard. And I think we throw the combo guard thing around a little bit too much. I think Jaden Ivey does a little bit of everything. I do think he is a bucket for sure. And at times he makes very good reads off of pick and rolls, like you said, and pick and pops. I do think sometimes he's a bit focused on scoring more so than making the easier play, but I think that's going to come with the maturity as his game starts to round out and as he starts to see a little bit more athletic defenders on the next level. But he rebounds well for his size.
I didn't mention his defense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a good defender. Like he's an above average.
He has a couple of like just swats to where like he just like rejected the shit out of guys, and I think laterally he moves his feet really well. Plus he's strong with a frame to be able to put on I think a lot of good base and muscle. So this is somebody who
he reached a little bit too much for my liking, but I think that's something that could be taught out of him. I think that you like the effort. You like the raw effort at first. You can teach the rest of the defensive principles as he gets serious, the effort at first. And I also think that off ball can get a little bit better, but he's not bad.
He falls asleep a lot on defense on off ball. Yeah, that's regular. I think that's normal.
No, I'm talking about offensively.
Okay.
I think his off-ball offense is not bad. He can work into a set, and I think to Paulie Pocket's suggestion, somebody playing with like a Cade who will get you the ball, and kind of also erases the fact that he's 6'4" and will be playing the two for the most part. I think something like a situation like that would be great. I just think his ceiling is pretty high. Where do you feel his floor is? Because I do think sometimes with true combo guards, the floor is a bit limited.
But I think the problem a lot of the combo guards run into is giving you nothing on defense. So I think, like Paulie Pocket just made a great point in the chat, the athleticism, I agree with this. The athleticism will make him a strong defender once his, the offensive responsibilities are lowered a little bit. Next to, I'm saying, a lot of, another initiator or anybody or offensive skilled NBA players next to him. So, I think with just talking through it, not going to be a negative on defense. Actually has potential to be a plus. And I think he has the type of, bullish mentality and gamer type of mentality to where he's the type of guy that's going to take a challenge, you know what I'm saying, pull the shorts up and get low on defense and really make, you know what I'm saying, your life hell. So I think he has, talking through it, at this point, the way he's playing, I think he's a real, you know what I'm saying, strong bet to end up at worst in the top 5. All right, so Raz, number 5, you are up.
This is where it get a little tricky, man.
Yeah,
Because
this is where it gets fun.
we've seen a lot of big men go off the board already. And I'm a lot of J's in this draft too, by the way. A lot of J first names. You know, shout out to Jalen Rose. While we're at it, just for being the first of many. But no, I think
a trailblazer.
Yeah, trailblazer. I mean, Jalen. Were there Jalen's before that?
Yeah. Nah, I think Jalen said he was the first Jalen. Apparently,
he's the first Jalen. I mean, we'll never be able to prove it, but great hairline, by the way.
You saying?
I'm gonna go with Jaden Hardy as my 5th pick. I mean, look, man. I said for me. For me,
I think I'm a fan of
I think
Jaden.
He was hurt.
Before you go, I will say this: I'm gonna say one, when he came back from his little injury. We're gonna get to him a little later, but Scoot Henderson has stolen this show on the G League Ignite.
Yes, but
he's still coming off the bench, and I know it's a political game to play. But yeah, I mean, some of the shooting for Jaden has been a little, to be kind, it's been a little atrocious. But go ahead, Raz.
Yeah, man, I hear you, and normally I'd agree with you there. I think he was hurt, and he's just starting to find his rhythm. I think the season still has a bit of a way to go, and we have to understand that he's playing against grown men right now. He's playing against people that are fighting for their livelihood. So let's cut him a break there. He's still a kid. He's not the greatest of athletes, which I know has been kind of the knock on him, but I think he's a great shot maker, and he has a polished offensive game to me. I don't think there's gonna be in terms of the word bag, that is the buzzword that we will run with today. I think he has a solid bag. I think he's going to be able to create for himself, and then off ball work is going to be good. He's adequate shooter right now. I know you're not high on what's been going on. He's an adequate shooter. I think
he has a green light. That's for certain. The percentages have not followed.
Not
yet. Like that.
No, he's streaky right now. He's streaky for sure, but he's an above average playmaker. Decent rebound. Look. I think we're gonna see. But this is one of the ones that we haven't agreed on. We're not really. I'm a fan
of. I think I'm a fan. I'm not trying to shit on him. I think he's shifty. He's shifty, and he has his handle is.
I think he over dribbles sometimes. I think he'd be able to be out coached to that. I think he wastes a lot of dribbles. And I think he can be.
So, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna say plus on the playmaker, then you think he's a 1.
I don't think he's a 1. We have another combo card here. We have another one. I think his defense. That's not Polly Pockets, man. We were doing well. He said, "I got a Mo Bamba reach with Hardy right now." I think we're gonna be all right with Hardy at 5. I mean, I can be wrong. That's why we do this, right? We can play all of these back. This is all on wax. I'm not running from my takes like some of these people that get paid the big bucks. I'm not erasing. Yeah, I'm not erasing no big boys, no mock drafts, and nothing like that. If Jalen Hardy is not the 5th pick, he's not the 5th best player when we come out next 2 or 3 years. Y'all can call me on it. But I just think he has the potential to really round out that offensive game, and I think once he commits himself defensively, I think that's a top 5 talent.
Yeah. So I think I think, you know what I'm saying, Jaden Hardy, just going off of, I've watched a lot of him on the grassroots circuit, Vegas Elite. Shout out to Vegas. And he showed at the lower levels, extremely versatile scorer. He's flashed the ability to score at all three levels. I think his handle is he has such a confidence in his handle that he can get a little Julian Newman with it in over dribble.
No. That's very disrespectful. Julian Newman.
I think hey man, I'm just telling
What's
you
that guy up
but
to right anyway? What's that guy up
I
to?
don't know, man. He might be working for UPS. I don't know. I think just in terms of like he's definitely a microwave scorer, and I think you know what I'm saying. I think like you know what I'm saying. You did mention what else is he going to bring to the table if the shot's not falling, and I think that's going to be something that, like I said, the light is green at the NBA level. No, just in terms of over dribbling, I think he's a way better athlete than
Yeah, you
Julian
see,
Newman.
Sean got real disrespectful with the Julian
Nah,
Newman stuff.
I'm a fan of him. Like in transition, he's able to get to the Baja whenever he does want. I think you know. I think he had like a 60-point game on the AAU circuit. Something ridiculous. I wanna. It's not. I think I do think. I'm much more of a fan of him off the ball. Off the ball. I think like I said. I think being able to get to his own or playing in the right offensive system to where you know what I'm saying I think he has a lot of name. That's why I'm saying to where they've had him doing a lot of ball handling responsibilities, and I don't think that's going to be his role at the next level. But yeah, just in terms to be fair, like I said, that might have been tough on Jaden. That might have been tough. But I just think I think I'm more of a fan of his off ball action, of his off ball upside. I think if he gets that ability, I think he's a better shooter. The pull-up jump shot, he loves the pull-up jump shot, but I think when he's getting a lot more cleaner looks, coming off of pin downs, coming off of screens, I think when he's able to really set his feet, that's really where he's most explosive. And he's the biggest threat that way. So I'm a fan of Jaden. I don't hate Jaden at 5. He's going to have to pick it up. I think even, you know what I'm saying, going back to like somebody like Jalen Green got off to a really slow start in the G League as well over his first 5-6 games at the level. And he really started to shine towards the second half of that G League and night season. So I'm not riding Jaden off. And I just think just in terms of what he's shown at lower levels, I don't see him falling out of. I think his floor is like 8 to 10. So I think 5. I don't hate it at 5. I think that's a pretty. I think it's a pretty good pick, and I think that is the range of where he will be going on draft night. So I think I am up here. So I'm up here with pick 6, and I'm gonna go Patrick Baldwin Jr. here. So I think when we talk about Patrick Baldwin Jr., and I think just in turn. I think just in terms of the seamless fit, I think he's probably going to be the Swiss Army knife. I think this class of wings is pretty interesting. Just in terms of and obviously I think Patrick is being asked to do a lot on obviously he plays for his father. Taking a unorthodox route to the NBA playing for Milwaukee, but he's playing for his pop, so I can't really shun him for that. I don't think he does not project as a a primary scorer. And he's just by far the most talented player on that Milwaukee team. So I think just in terms of what he's doing right now and showing, some of the capabilities. I think he has one of the best jump shots in this class. I think the shot it's picture perfect mechanics. Even when he showed on that same FIBA U19 team, I think he's also shown a lot just on that end and being able. He's plug and play to a T. So I think even if the stats and even if some of the numbers don't look great for Patrick, I think even if you look at how he shot on the lower levels, I think that's a pretty good. Cam Johnson in the chat, I think he's better than Cam. I think he is going to be an even better defender than a Cam, but that's a really good comp. I think Cam went what 13, 14 in that draft, and I think he has a lot more. I think he's more comfortable getting to his one dribble pull up. I think he's also going to be able to bully smaller defenders. I think he's bigger than Cam. I think Patrick is at 6'10", 205. I think he's gonna have the frame to also grow into that. So yeah, I think Patrick he's shown a lot to me, and I think this is just somebody to where When I think this is the drop off after that top four in that top four that we did mention. So I think that's gonna be I think that's gonna be the funny part. And I think that's just like just in terms of his transition into the league. I remain an extremely high Pat Baldwin fan. So I would definitely, if I have if I'm one of those teams in the top 10, if we're talking the Rockets, if we're talking OKC, seems like a real big Spurs team to me. If the Kings end up in the top 10, I see him projecting well on any of those teams. So I'm high and I remain steadfast on my Pat Baldwin projection on the next level.
I don't have no issues with that. I think, like you said, he does do a bit too much. I think offensively right now, I don't think he's going to be able to translate that type of role to the next level. I do like his handle. I do like his jump shot. He's a sniper. So that, shooting as a stretch four, I think he's going to be able to. He may need to put on a little bit more weight. I don't know if he
come. Yeah, he has a frame for it.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be guarding threes.
I think he can. I think it's
going to be one or the other, because I think if he's going to bang with the fours, fours don't bang as much as they used to. So.
I don't think he's the most naturally gifted athlete, but I think his instincts on defense are extremely high. And I think he'll be able, like, once he understands the actual, just the NBA game, and I think he'll be able to position. I think positioning is going to be his friend. So I think even though, I think the foot speed is not the best, but I think I've seen him even like on the island. I think he uses his length well enough to really guard on the perimeter.
Yeah, I think for him, I think his thing is to find that groove offensively and figure out, I don't know if he's a number one option, right? Like he is in college, right? But so he's gonna have to figure out where he gets his offense off in the league, coming off of pin screens and things like that. I think once he gets into an offense that'll be able to maximize that, I think his ceiling is definitely higher than a Cam Johnson for sure. I think
we can start flying through. We can start flying through the second half. My next number 7. Who you got?
We're number 7. 7. Boy, 7. I'm probably gonna go TyTy Washington at 7.
Woo, 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 woo. I think talk to me. I'm not mad at it.
TyTy,
I'm gonna need to be talked into it. I'm gonna need to be talked into
TyTy. That
if he's at 7 in this draft,
that jump shot is pure. That jump shot is pure. He plays both
Trevor
ends.
Keels had him in a headlock.
He did.
Let's say that.
He did. I don't think. These kids are 19 years old, man. Like I don't think he jumped off of the. I saw him at the Memphis.
So I'm at the Iverson Classic.
Iverson Round Ball Classic. So little bias there, but I think he's very quick. That jump shot is pure. He loves up tempo, which most teams are running with that right now. And he can push the fast break. He's not a slouch on see, Trevor Keels built like a pro wrestler though. That's what I'm saying. TyTy has not hit his adult body yet. He has good instincts on defense, which you can't teach that, especially in the NBA now, where point guard every night is, it's the premier matchup basically. Like you have to bring it on both ends most of the time, unless you're Steph Curry or Dame, because nobody can do anything
Don't put Steph in that one. Say Dame. Yeah, put Dame on the Summer Jam screen.
Okay, Steph has played 2 months of defense, y'all, and now he gets taken off. He gets taken off.
Nah, that's disrespectful. Nah, Steph, bro. I don't think you don't get to. I just vehemently disagree on that. I think Steph is always. I think on the if we're going.
I don't think it's as bad as I don't think his defense is as bad as everybody makes it.
I don't think it's a negative. It's not a negative. His defense is not a negative for the Golden State scheme.
No, not for the Golden State scheme, but when you're stuck guarding Andre Robertson on most nights, it's cool. Like you don't have to be a negative.
But that's the life of a lead initiator. There's different rules for the lead initiators. And most teams are going to put their.
Not true. Chris Paul used to guard Durant, dog.
Who you just, bro? Come on, man. Ja Morant is not guarding the best defender on that team.
No, but he also
We can
has
go down the
Desmond
list if you
Bane.
want to.
He also has Desmond Bane on that team and Dylan Brooks. Like, why
If you
does he
want to
need
go,
to?
but that's for any team. That's for any team. You're supposed to insulate. No, for the best two-way players in the league are not point guards, are not guards. The best two-way players in the league are wings and the freaks.
I watched CP3 do it, man.
CP3 is different. CP3 is different. CP3, but it's not a long list. It's not 30 of them.
It's not
It's
30
not
of
30 of them. You know,
Nah,
so if it's not 30 of them, especially that are also responsible for lead ball handling capabilities.
DeJounte Murray's one of those that's on the come up doing that right now. DeJounte Murray. He's not the scorer that these dudes are, but
DeJounte Murray is a defensive player of the year candidate. So like I said, you can name it's a short list all time and in the league right now. So I mean, at that level, you're definitely insulating your guard because first of all, and I know shout out to friend of the show, Jackson Lloyd. I know he tweeted this on, but he made a great point about it's extremely difficult to get 20 and give a lot of effort on the defensive end as well. So teams are aware of that. Teams are going to be able to insulate them. But yeah, I don't know. back to TyTy though.
Yeah, TyTy. I think now Polly Pockets in the chat has always said he can follow the Darius Garland mold. I think he's a better defender than Garland. But that's not a bad route to take either. Garland has taken a step this year. So I think TyTy's jump shot is a bit better too. But obviously
I don't know about that one.
Oh boy! All right, we can do a film session too, man. Darius is nice. He's nice, but TyTy's jump shot is like that.
Darius should shoot. Nah, Darius should shoot the hell out of it. I give you close, but continue.
Fuck it. That's all I gotta say. TyTy Washington, my pick. What number are we? 7?
We're at number. That was number 7. That was number 7. So yeah, no, I'm not mad at the TyTy pick. I think he might just be the next one out of these UK guards to just find more comfortable footing in the league. Do you consider him a 1 all the way? I
think he's a 1. I mean,
I think
he can play off it if you need him to, but I think he's a 1.
I think his off ball is kind of some of his more. I think that's one of his. It's going to help him get onto the court where if he ends up in the league.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that's how he'll make his. I think that's how he'll get cut his teeth. But I think
attacking out of closeouts. Extremely comfortable getting to that floater. Loves that floater. Doesn't really get flustered by I would say guys in his chest too much. Obviously, getting used to the just the strength and the length of the next level takes him getting used to. But I think also his footwork and ability to get his own shot. He's extremely sudden. And what I'm saying, get into that pull up, get into that step back. Something that he has shown. Is he at 7? I think probably a hair high for me. I could definitely see him in the lottery. If he kills down the stretch, I might be able to get to you with TyTy at 7. So number 8, I'm gonna go Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren at 8. I don't think he falls much further than this.
No, probably not. I think we just was like, there's too many fucking centers being taken right now. But yeah, I don't.
The Memphis team. I will before I get into Jalen. I guess we can
address that bum out in Memphis.
Let's talk about it for a second. Let's talk about it for a moment.
We can talk about it, man.
I know you had eyes on the Penny Classic on Memphis. Imani, Jalen.
I'm familiar with his work out there.
The recent games. So what have you seen? We could get into Jalen in a second.
I feel like we're doing Jalen a disservice making this about Imani. Imani Bates can't even come out this year, right?
No, we're not talking. But we wanted to talk about just real quick, because it's not like we haven't. I've been saying I'm a fan of Imani and I'm rooting for the kid.
I'm not.
Saying? Because he left Michigan State.
Yeah,
Because he left Michigan State.
I'm not wishing for him to fail per se.
That's
I'm
what it
just
sounds like.
no. I want him to get to the league, make as much money as he can. I want him to have no success in college. I think that's what it
But
comes.
what have you seen? Now, I know Monty's not eligible, but it's our only opening to talk about him. So but what just we could just go like 10,000 feet sky view on what you've seen from this Memphis team. I know you was watching the game over the weekend, but what have you seen from Memphis?
They don't have an identity.
A fucking
right
point
now.
guard, a real fucking point guard.
Well, they don't have a point guard either, but they don't have an identity. And I think, these games early in the year, especially in college, right? You have to find out what type of team you have. Most of these coaches are trying to understand, and obviously for me, I'm a bit jaded. Like I watch Izzo 24/7, so I usually know to expect a few elbows thrown. Team gonna run a fast break and they're gonna rebound. Like that's kind of just the teams you expect, right? But like Memphis got a lot of star power, but no identity. And I think until they figure that out, that's why they've lost about 3 in a row. Like they don't have an identity. Teams can go in there and impose their will on them and play the game that they want to play. And then, Memphis at that point is hoping for talent to win out. And, sometimes the team in college with the older guys wins. Like they've been around this block a little bit longer. That's why when you get into the tournament, they talking about, do you have veteran guards? Like veteran guards come tournament time usually win out because of things like this. So it's just, Imani Bates, he's been moved to the bench and he's averaging like the most points on the team, but it's 12 points. It's a lot of basketball to go around, a lot of people to get shots. So I think Penny has to just figure out who's going to be his go-to players and what's that team's identity, and they should be able to figure it out. Or, they might, Memphis is Penny City, so nobody going to be calling for his head. But if this was a higher profile job, there would be rumblings. You know what I'm saying?
I think his job is secure. I think this is just a really nasty. I mean, it's just the team. You could tell he was just trying to assemble. You know what I'm saying? The
Monsters.
Yeah, and it definitely. You know what I'm saying, on the actual court. And I just wanted to bring it up because Raz, I've been banging this banging this drum on about Imani for a minute. And, no, but it's just about he's been done no favors just in terms of the hype that was given to him. And that threw me off from the jump to where Imani still has a lot of development to do to his game. And I think there's a longer breakdown of a mind to be had later, for sure. But I think just in terms of like his feel for the game, they're playing him at a point guard. He's not a point guard. He's not getting into your sets. He's not reading the floor well at all. Even defensively, he hasn't really. We talk about this a lot. Sometimes defense is just giving a shit. He hasn't really given a shit at all. And I think that's kind of the strangest part about it. And to get to Jalen to a little bit, watching Jalen at Montverde, playing with he played on some loaded teams, and looking at how Kevin Boyle had him playing, and you know what I'm saying, him and Caleb Houston, you know what I'm saying, those lower levels, I saw a lot more of assertiveness from Jalen at the lower level. I think Jalen is extremely physically gifted. My problem with him is he doesn't really put that mentality to use on the court. For somebody as big as him, he's not really throwing guys around with his lower body. He's not really he's been kind of sloppy when it comes to boxing out, doing the big man things that, you know what I'm saying, to go. If you're going to take a big man in the top 10, you want to see them at least excel on the gritty things, and boxing out, setting screens, you know what I'm saying, being a presence. And that's kind of been my thing, because Jalen, I think even at Montverde, he's shown, I think it's been, like I said, it's just been nasty for this Memphis team. It's just been nasty on this Memphis team, bro. I think like, even, I don't know if it's coaching, I don't know I don't know. Like it just seems like bad vibes in the locker room right now. But do I see Jalen falling out of the top 10? Possibly. He has to get his stuff together, but he's extremely like just in terms of the physical tools, like he's a freak athletically. Like even for somebody his size, I think he profiles closer to a for he kind of profiles to a little bit of a he kind of profiles, he's not as nimble as a Davon Sharp was, but I think there's a lot of similarities between their two games. Davon's a little more finesse, but just in terms of some of the big man things that they need to improve on, I would say that's another thing. Just red flags, I suppose, but I can't count. What was that, number 8 or 9? I don't know. Raz, you're up.
We gotta figure out what number we're at. Hold on. 1, 2, 3.
I think we're at 9.
4.
I think we're at 9.
Cool. All right, it's time for another reach. We're gonna go with Nikola Jovic. Why? Who knows? You know, but from the film that I saw, he's not Jokic. He's not. Yeah, he's not Jokic. So let's start there. But I could see why someone would be confused there. But he's very versatile. He can do a bit of everything. So that's kind of why he's getting those. Other than his name being literally the same name minus a letter. That's why he's getting some of those damn comparisons. But I mean, he makes good passes. He's not a freak athlete, so it's all skill work there. But he's pretty quick and he can run the floor pretty well. I think he has the room to fill out on that frame as well. I think
I'm a fan of Mark Williams, so I do think they probably I would have Mark in not to cut you off, Raz, but to go to Jalen not being any better than Mark Williams. I think their NBA roles are closer. So I think just in terms of and that's what I'm saying. That's the interesting thing of doing scouting at this part of the season, because the second half is going to let us know. Because if he doesn't turn it around, yeah, he might. It sounds crazy, but yeah, he can fall. Keep dropping down in the lottery. But yeah, go back to Jovic.
Yeah, no, he has good handle for someone that size, and he's kind of crafty, but it's kind of awkward. He reminds me of a little bit of a Danilo. If I had to think into it, probably a better defender than Danilo was, and not as long, I guess, wingspan wise. But I think he's going to be someone that if at this spot we're at 9, I think usually at 9, it's okay to shoot for a home run here if you can.
That sounds like, yeah, especially if Sam Presti's going to have like 8 picks this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like shoot for a home run somewhere. I think this is one of those things where you could hope that, this guy turns into being one of those guys, and at worst he's going to be, able to at least contribute to your team. But I think right here is a good spot for him.
So yeah, one time for the factory, Mega, giving us Jokic, giving us Zubac, couple others, but yeah, Jovic is he's a really promising kid, versatile forward. He can handle the ball. He's able to be a threat and do things at each 3 levels. The shot, I think the shot mechanics are probably another one of these guys that the shot is going to have to speed up to really get it off.
For sure.
Next to NBA length. I think he's flashed. He's flashed the ability to create some separation with a step back. From what I've watched as well. So I think that's another one. Defensively, I think he has pretty good feet for somebody his size. He's also going to need to add.
Yeah, he's not bad in space, man. He's just not a rim protector.
He's not a rim protector. But I do think if he's able to really improve, take it to the next level, just about how he navigates screens. I don't really necessarily see him as a point of attack defender. But I do definitely think he has potential. I think just his skill level is really really high. He's a really good passer in the half court settings. Sees the game really good. I think watching some of his played with the Serbian national team, and I think just his ability to understand the floor, understand the movements, finding cutters, hit ahead passes in transition. He has a lot of things that I could definitely see a team really fall in love with. And yeah, he's been on. He plays a lot of guard for Mega. So they have him initiate a lot of offense. So yeah, if we're just talking about a playmaking forward who's going to be able to, you know what I'm saying, play next to other scorers, and you know what I'm saying, there's a lot of things you could do with a Nikola Jovic. So yeah, I think that's a good range for Jovic. So I'm gonna go. My next pick is I'm gonna go with Keegan Murray at 10, or was that 11? 11. That's
We're
10.
at 10 now. We're at 10.
We're at
Yeah.
10. Obviously, I can't count like I just say, but yeah, I think just in terms of Keegan Murray, Iowa, 6'8", 225, 6'11 wingspan. I think he's another one of these guys who's definitely came back into school, and he's definitely improved his stock. I think Big Ten play will be a pretty good.
Shout out the Big Ten, man. Best
Shout
conference
out to
in basketball. Fuck it.
Shout out to Big Ten play. Big Ten play will definitely show a lot.
For this draft board too, bro. There's a lot of Big Ten people on here. You're gonna be like, huh? We're gonna see after they beat up on each other for 2 months, huh?
Yeah, so I think just in terms of what he's able to do, I think he's able to. I think a lot of that stuff is really impressive. He's really disruptive as a defender. Good length. He's able not just empty steals and blocks. I would say he's pretty just in terms of saying being in the right positions and everything. He does that pretty well. I think just in terms of his off ball proclivity, I think he's somebody who in the right system he's going to be a plus defender. I think his ability to pass over the top from his frame is another plus for him, just in terms of having really good instincts. He moves off the ball really well, I would say. I think that's another thing that he has shown. He relocates, and I think even being able to for his size, for somebody who's 225, I think he's going to be able to be really comfortable at that 4 position in the league. I think just in terms of what I'm saying, being able to play in that dunker spot, being able to get easy buckets, and just playing that little cat and mouse game with defenders. I think he's definitely shown a really good, just a really good actual skill set. There's a lot of things that he does do well. Iowa hasn't really played anybody, to be honest, this early in the season. So I just think
they played Purdue, right?
I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, Keegan is also. I think he's also effective on the offensive glass. So I think he's. I don't. I think there's a lot. I think he's going to be able to also defend 3s and 4s. So as a combo 3-4 type. And also I think he is enough of a presence to be a weak side rim protector if you're using him in the right scheme. So I think that's just going off of what I said. I think that's a lot of positives once you get into the role player actual range of this draft. So yeah, like I said, it's gonna be a lot to see if he proves it again in Big Ten play. I do think Keegan Murray is somebody who has definitely raised his draft stock early in the season.
Yeah, I don't have any qualms there. I think somebody that he's going to be an undersized for. We just have to see how that translates to the next level. But I'm not mad, with him at what is it? We're at 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
11.
no, we're going 11 now. I'm about to pick 11.
I can't count, bro. Whatever. But yeah, we go to the lottery, so we got like 3 more picks. But
11, Kendall Brown from Baylor.
Woo! You saw my pick, bro.
I mean, you was gonna take him at 12.
That was gonna be my next pick.
No. I mean, he's very versatile. 2-way player. Freak athlete, I think, is one we can say.
Sure.
I think he's going to test very high athletically. I don't think after the combine and and all that stuff happens, I think he'll move up just off his athleticism as well. I think he's going to be the best defender on ball in this class. So just with that, you're hoping that the rest of the game picks up for him. But even with those measurables right there, 6'6", 205, freak athlete, who's going to be able to guard.
He's like he like head at the rim
That's
type
what I'm
athlete.
saying.
Like
And he moves without the ball. Like he knows where his bread is buttered. Like he's backdoor, he's lobs, he's like, I think working on getting a bit more of a bag will help him at the next level. But just defensively and his athleticism is going to be enough to get him into the league, and he can figure everything else out from there.
I think you and I, we were both high on Scotty Barnes coming out, and
Yes.
Keegan. I mean, not Kendall is not Scotty Barnes. He doesn't have the same functional dribble to the same level. But I think if we're just talking about a guy who's going to be a lot more effective and productive, just more impactful than his stats might say. I think Kendall, if he's shooting, and I think the jump shot is the main concern here. Another one of these guys with a slow jump shot. He has a long wind up getting into his shot. But I don't think it's necessarily broken. I just think it's really hard for him to get clean looks. But yeah, the framing tools are elite. You know what I'm saying, for a multi-positional defender. Extremely crafty, scoring at the rim. I do think, and I just said, like, he's not Scotty Barnes when it comes to dribbling, but I do think when it comes to just being able to sliver his way to the basket and get, you know what I'm saying, just to get a lane to the hoop that, you know what I'm saying, it doesn't pop off tape, but he's able, like, he's flashed, you know what I'm saying, some really nice behind the back dribbles in traffic to really to use his length well, to be able to get to finish. Also in transition, he has a nice Euro step, and to which honestly surprised me is his ability, a lot more fluid for his size. He's a big guy, but he moves like a little smaller of a wing than he actually is. So I think just his spatial awareness, passing ability, being able to understand what's going on. So he also has really good hands. He's able to which is nothing worse than a play finisher, which I think he's gonna have the ability to do some rim running. And like you did mention, just the ability to cut to the basket. I think that's another one he's always able. And defensively, the tools on defense are extremely high. So yeah, man, I'm really high on Kendall Brown. I think if I'm just looking for somebody who I trust in my developmental team, and I think we're going to be able to really improve him and get him to that next level. I do think he's going to be somebody who definitely has that potential to be taken at that back that back end of the actual lottery range. So I'm up. I don't know what pick this is, but we going. I'm gonna go Dyson Daniels here. G League Ignite out of Australia. 6'6" combo guard. Another one of these guys. They've been having him run the point for G League Ignite. But I'm just a really really big fan of him. I think
Just so
I
you
think
know,
his
just pick 12.
ability. I would love to pair him next to an offense first guard, and let him just wreak havoc. I think he's one of the best. If we're just talking about guards, I think he's one of the best offensive rebounders. Just his motor on the offensive glass. He's another one of these guys to where his ability to really use his vertical leaping ability to high point passes. I mean to high point misses and really get second. He's one of those guys that lives for second chances. And he does that. I think he has a chance to be I'm a duck for cover better Dante Exum in the NBA. I don't know where Dante Exum. I think he's in China. He's somewhere overseas. But I
Shout
think
out
you know
to
what I'm
him, I
saying.
guess.
Just in terms of frame athleticism, I think the shot some of his earlier shooting samples were really nasty, but I think he's shown, you know what I'm saying, an improvement, and he started to up his volume from the 3-point range. Some of the G League stuff has been a little shaky, but I think he's one of those guys who I've already seen just from when I was just going through his film early before the season started, just his improvement level. I see improvement level from one part of the season to the second part of the season. I think at this part of the season, at this part of the draft, I'm extremely high on Dyson. I think just in terms of hey man, I was a Dante Exum fan, so I was high on Dante Exum. I'm not like I was like you live and learn. But at this point in the draft, I don't think like who are the if we're just talking high upside. I don't think he's not a point guard, but if we're just talking about somebody who's going to be able. I think he's going to shoot eventually. Maybe that's glass half full. Maybe that's what I'm saying, a Coke dream. But I just think his ability. I think he has the potential to be a plus point of attack defender. And yeah, man, I'm a fan of Dyson, and I do think he's going to be able to also, athletically. I think he's somebody who I think he's way more athletic than Dante Exum. So, somebody who's going to be able to play at both guard spots. And I think his passing ability. He's shown the capability to really get down the hill, find open teammates, creating the collapse. And I think even in the G League, I think his first game was really damn good. And I think another thing in transition. He's also really shown that he's been real comfortable pushing and going. So I think just a connective tissue guy. If he's not going in the lottery, and if he's going, I could see him going from his range is probably anywhere from back half of the lottery to in the 20s. But I'll take him in the 20s without any doubt, because I think, like I said, if you have the right ecosystem, you have the right guards with him. I think he could definitely make an early impact, jump shot or no jump shot. So yeah, man, I think even some there's some if he can shoot, there's some DeAnthony Melton fan, and I had DeAnthony Melton as a lottery guard when he was coming out of USC. So I'm a real fan. I think these type of guys, when we get to this point of the draft, guys that can make an impact for your rotation, that's what I'm looking for. So Raz, you up your last pick?
My last pick is to much of the chagrin of Paulie Pockets, I will go with Max Christie, Michigan State University. Um, the latest in 5-star recruits for Tom Izzo. Real thin kid,
Might
very
not age
skilled.
well.
It might. He can shoot that shit. He's not playing the best right now, but there's a lot of talent there. He's showing up on the defensive end at most points, and if he doesn't, Tom Izzo sits his ass down. So, I think Christie. We're gonna have to see how the rest of the season goes off, but I haven't seen anybody to push him out of the lottery yet. So we'll see what happens, just off of his talent alone.
Yeah, I mean that's the strange part of the season. He hasn't really been shooting it well. And he was what I'm saying, noted as a plus shooter coming in. I think Michigan's lack of just offensive structure has kind of hurt him. I think just in terms of his high school game and where he was most effective really coming off of screens, DHOs. There's a lot of things you could do with him as a shooter that Michigan State really hasn't they haven't really explored that with him. And like I mentioned it earlier, I forgot what game it was, but I was watching them just being extremely frustrated at their inability to get into their sets. And that just goes into some of the point guard play that MSU has this year. So I mean, I think Christie definitely has a lead game. I think the strength and yeah, the size and strength of the NCAA game has really seemed to. Yeah, like you said, rail skinny. He's one of those guys where if he comes back next year, extremely comfortable. I could see him going. If not, if he falls out of the lottery, possibly going even higher if he's able to make improvements to his game. So yeah, man, I think that's not a bad pick. In terms of Caleb Christie, but yeah, he still has to show me something. Just in terms of this, where he's gonna go. So I think this last pick, and this is definitely we're at the lottery
14th,
and
yeah.
yeah, we're at the throwing darts point of the draft. The two
At
people
least at this point.
the two people I'm
Nah,
strafing
just
between
just pick one. Just pick one. Don't even
I'm
give us
going
the other one.
between the two names is Adrian Griffin Jr. and Caleb Houston. I'll flip a coin in. Um, Adrian Griffin Jr. hasn't really been. He's coming off an injury. Hasn't played. AAU hasn't played high school last year, so he's extremely what I'm saying, rusty. But he has great physical tools, elite athleticism. He's shown some self creation. Defensively, I think he has the potential to be a really good perimeter threat. Good rebounder for his size as well. The injuries are definitely a big concern. So I think that's somebody who he might fall out of the lottery as well. Caleb Houston's another one, Montverde kid. Hasn't shot the ball at all this season. But I think just in terms of I think pedigree wise, jump shot is slow again. He needs to speed that up. But I don't think his mechanics are bad. But yeah, those are mine too. And yeah, man, that will probably wrap us up. I don't know if you have any honorable mentions you want to fire off, Raz, before we get out of here.
Nah, man, it's too early. Like we said in the opening, the way too early mock draft. Honorable mentions, we be throwing darts again. So I think we will be back with this much later in the season with much better informed opinions. And we'll be able to just get a look at these college prospects. I mean, college basketball is one of those things where it's a labor of love. You got to watch a lot of bad film to get to the good stuff. So we'll be back on this one.
Yes, sir. We'll be back next week as well. So shout out to everybody rocking with us, checking out the product, rocking with us on Periscope and on YouTube. As the Draft Season Podcast, man. Hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Make sure you guys are subscribed to that Draft Season YouTube page. Leave a comment, leave a like, you know what I'm saying? Support your independent podcast, independent media creators. But yeah, man, that'll be it for us. You can follow Raz, Polo Pivoting on Twitter. You can follow me. I love Sean 5000. Wherever you do get your Twitter content and all that things. But yeah, man, Draft Season Podcast. We out of here, bro.